Hi, my name is Egor. I use the pseudonym EgorixA. On this channel I share videos about interesting and little known places in St. Petersburg. I will also talk about the peculiarities of life in Russia. I will show our way of life, culture, history, beauty and aesthetics. My mother, Tatiana, will help me with this. I have been studying English for 1.5 years without teachers or the opportunity to communicate with anyone in it. Therefore, I can make mistakes in vocabulary and pronunciation. On the other hand, by making videos for you, I can improve my skills over time. Let's move on to the walk. It starts from the intersection on Molodetsko-Selsky Avenue, not far from the Technologicheski Institute subway station. The blocks of this area are built up mainly with 4 to 6-story buildings. This area was actively developed at the turn of the 70th of the 19th century and the first 2 decades of the 20th century. Later, unfortunately, the Red Revolution occurred and such beautiful buildings were no longer built. Most of the buildings you see are apartment buildings. Many of them are still preserved in close to original condition. Some have been reconstructed. The problem of St. Petersburg, which breaks my heart, is the pre-revolutionary abandoned houses that no one cares about. In this house, number 24, there was a shelter in memory of Tsarevich Nikolai Alexandrovich, built in 1911. It was designed for 160 visiting children and 40 permanent boys. Since the beginning of the millennium, the house has stood in this condition and is awaiting reconstruction. Apartment buildings in St. Petersburg were the most common type of urban building before the revolution. An apartment building is a building whose interior spaces are rented out to residents. This can be compared to modern monthly apartment rentals in the USA. Rented premises made up the majority of the housing stock. By the end of the 19th century, their share reached 19.4%. St. Petersburg houses became famous for their dark and narrow courtyard wells. This architectural phenomenon is a popular attraction for which tourists come. They appeared as a result of the fact that the owners of apartment buildings sought to build up the site with as many apartments as possible. The first floors of such buildings were allocated for commerce, while wealthy residents lived on the second floors. The higher the floor, the cheaper the rent, and, accordingly, the poorer its residents were. This sign above the arch says that this building was built by architect Vitebsky in 1904. In the 1950s, 2 upper floors were added and the building was extending along Bronitska Street. Often in St. Petersburg there are houses with double numbering. This is house 2127, house 21 on Avenue and 27 on Bronitska Street. If we talk about modern life, I would like to talk about the arrangement of paid parking in the city center. On the poles you can see signs that describe the parking rules in the area. Parking zones are delimited by blue markings. You can pay for parking through a mobile application or through a parking meter. You only need to enter the car number and pay by card or NFC. Parking costs 100 rubles per hour or $1 per hour. Parking is paid from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and completely free from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. Nowadays, these signs are attached to buildings. It indicates that the building has a higher energy efficiency class. This is a comprehensive indicator of the rationality and efficiency of energy consumption. These indicators are influenced by the economy of heating, lighting, water supply, and ventilation. The energy efficiency of the materials and equipment used in the construction of the house is also taken into account. The gradation goes from A to G. The further from A, the less energy efficient the house is. Class C saves from 15 to 25% of thermal energy. This is probably a good class for such old houses. A Class G house does not save, but on the contrary, loses more than 50% of the received thermal energy. Now I'm filming the tall white box in which the elevator is located. To save space, elevators in many apartment buildings were located outside the buildings. This is a modern elevator, which was built on the site of the old one. We reached the intersection of Klinsky Avenue and Mozhaevska Street. There, in several blocks perpendicular to this avenue, there is a Moskovsky Avenue, one of the main avenues in the southern part of the city. Again we see a sign with the name of the avenue and double numbering. The fire station was built in 1932 in the constructivist style, fire truck based on KAMAZ trucks. I'm filming Zagorodny Avenue. The tower of Vladimir Cathedral is visible in the distance. I was surprised to discover in the recording how many wires were hanging over the avenue. They significantly worsen the appearance. To the right of the avenue is Vitebsky Railway station. The first railway in Russia was built from the station to the city of Pavlovsk. Now a small reconstruction has been carried out near the station building. Could you imagine that right now we are standing in the place where the Vvedensky canal used to flow? In 1807-1810, a canal was dug here, from the Fontanka River to the Obvodny Canal. It was used for shipping and water intake. 3 bridges were built across it. In 1965-1971, the canal was filled in, the bridges across it were dismantled, and a street of the same name was laid along the former route of the canal. Now let's talk about the station itself. Vitebsky is the first station in St. Petersburg and Russia, which after its opening bore the name St. Petersburg. At the time, St. Petersburg was the capital of the Russian Empire, so it was from here that the construction of the first railway in Russia began. It is called the Tsarskoye Selo Railway, as it was supposed to connect Tsarskoye Selo, Pavlovsk, and the capital. Tsarskoye Selo and Pavlovsk are imperial suburban residences. The station was rebuilt several times and changed its name. Its current name was assigned to it in the USSR when the road was extended to the city of Vitebsk, which is located in Belarus. Initially, it was planned to build a stone building for the station on the banks of the Fontanka, but it was not possible to buy the land from the owner. On July 7, 1836, construction of the Pavlovsk station in Pavlovsk had already begun. In 1837, a small plot of land was allocated on Zagorodny Avenue, and in August the construction of a temporary 2-story wooden station building began. The station was opened in the fall of 1837. The first train to leave the station was a Provorny steam locomotive. The driver was the railway construction manager and engineer Franz Gerstner. Honorary passengers went to Tsarskoye Selo, including Emperor Nicholas I and his family. There is a monument to the engineer on the territory of the station. In his hands he holds a small copy of a steam locomotive. Entrance to the station is through the waiting room on the first floor. The main premises of the station are a gigantic lobby with a marble grand staircase. The ceiling height is more than 20 meters. The main staircase of the hall is the dominant feature of the room. It is decorated with marble railings with decorative bronze inserts. The lighting of the hall is made using natural light. Daylight enters the hall through stained glass windows located on all walls. Artificial light is created using electric lamps located around the perimeter of the hall. Between the windows in the walls there are stucco panels painted to match the color of old bronze. They depict the head of Mercury and female heads framed by stylized floral ornaments. This choice is not accidental. Mercury is the god of trade and travel. On the first flight of stairs there is a bust of Emperor Nicholas I. Behind the stairs, we found ourselves in the indoor light hall. It has not changed since its creation. It consists of 2 levels. We are on the upper one, which leads to the platforms. There is a corridor below. You can climb up from it along a spiral metal staircase, or go further along the corridors and exit to the stairs. From the light hall we get to the covered part of the platforms. Most of the facades are occupied by a 3-vaulted landing stage designed by engineer V.S. Gerson. The arches of the landing stages are metal, riveted and initially covered with glass. Sheet iron bars decorated with metal flowers are used as fencing. The landing stage does not completely cover the platforms. Approximately a third of the platforms are in the open air. There are 8 tracks leading to the station. I barely took pictures of the baggage elevators, so I'll attach a picture. The platform preserves the historic elevators that used to move luggage from the baggage tunnels to the platform. They don't work nowadays. We were lucky to find a blue train at the platform, which lives up to the name of the station. He sets off on a multi-hour journey to Belarus. The final destination is Vitebsk. Swiss watches. The second hand is made in the style of the semaphore.
6 o'clock. Oh. Wow.
There are iron flowers on the beams supporting the roof. While we were walking around the train station, it started to rain outside, which meant it was time for us to say goodbye. Thank you so much for walking with us around St. Petersburg today. If you liked the video, please like it and write any comment. We tried very hard and we would be very pleased. See you in new places, at interesting events or on culinary adventures.